Actually, no, you don't. You're just here like last week, weren't you?
This class?
Shit. I think so, yeah.
Well,
You're welcome anytime. Don't get
I
me wrong.
know.
Don't get me wrong.
no, but now it's the thing. It's the thing. Oh,
I didn't mean to make it a thing.
now it's the thing. I gotta go. It's a class.
So now we can just show this.
Now we can do whatever we want.
Where did you just go?
Peter, are you lost?
No. I had to say hi to
He's
Lauren.
probably playing chess.
Just put it. Remember, if you got corrections or anything, I guess just corrections. I need them by tomorrow, so I can get your grades in on time. What is it? What? The binomial formula is on the board, sir. Get out your Pascal's triangle sheet if you got that too. What's up? We could do normal CDF and combine your distributions and figure it out. Brothers and
They suck too, so we probably won't only do it by 5.
we here or there?
Yeah, we're there. I say 3.
I love your
Oh, wait. If there is a giant one, you must be going there.
I love how you guys just love basketball so much. I know. Did your class take like worksheets off my house yesterday?
Crap hits us.
You did? Oh, okay. I thought I had them printed and then they were gone, so I just printed them again, but I guess I didn't need to. I know. Did you guys do them?
Honestly, not really.
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't really think you were going to. I just like nobody did them.
No, I think some people actually did. Just personally, no.
Not you. Usually on top of that.
Well, yeah, but like, it was a Monday.
What's what?
No, I have a calculator.
No one else is busy, really.
Yes.
Is that you? This is you.
We did, but we both bought it, so we have to pay for it.
What?
Is that you or is that you? Or is that
Because I got it now.
Me.
I don't see it as I know, like,
That's
I don't know, whatever. I got like, it was about like somebody I checked up.
Sam, did you want your test back? You missed. Are you gonna do corrections? All right. I just threw it away.
That's what I told him. I said, I can't make it.
Yeah, I threw it away. All right. So the next chapter is still probability, but it's this chapter. Binomial is what we're doing today, and it's you have like a certain number of trials, like you know exactly how many times you're going to do it. You want the probability.
I got Matilda came over from yours, and we're doing our January SAT. Did you already do a January SAT? Because she's like, I think I just did one for
We
Mr.
did number
Davis last
3.
week. Okay, maybe I'll just count that one as her January and not have her. At some point, I'll probably snag her scores and just pull them over. On
Yeah.
a little chart. All right.
Where's that sheet?
What sheet? Oh, you want that sheet? So binomial is like I'm going to do something 10 times, and we're going to. What's the probability I succeed 3? I'm going to take a 5-question multiple choice test. What's the probability I get 4 right? Like, you know exactly how many times you're doing it. That's what we're doing today. Geometric, which is like in a few days, is we're going to do something until we succeed 1 time, then we stop. So if I'm doing that, do I know how many trials it's going to take? Like, I'm going to roll a die until I get a 2. Do I know how many times it's going to take me? I don't. So that's the main difference between the two things. Binomial, you have a fixed n, like you know exactly what it is, and geometric, you don't. But we'll get more into that tomorrow. We are going to end up using the calculators for these, but the AP test and therefore my test will also make you like write out a formula to show they understand. Did that just make you really excited?
That's fun.
Yeah, but that was like right. That's true. That was, yeah. No, because he did like yeah. Okay. All right, so 6 true false questions. What's the probability you get exactly 5 correct? Like, assume you're just guessing. I give you a true false on something you have no idea what it's about. What's the probability that you get 5 out of 6 correct? So the formula would look like this: the probability that x equals 5. Because 5 is the number that we're trying to get correct. That's the number of successes we're looking for. Equals 6 choose 5. And so what this does is like there's different ways I could get 5 correct. I could get the first 5 right, I could get the last 5 right, I could miss like the third one and get like the 2 before and the 3 after it right. And then this is that triangle, which will tell you how many different combinations there are. And the probability of success. So if I'm just guessing, P is the probability of success. What's the probability that I guess correctly in a multiple choice test? I'm sorry, true false test? 0.5, right? And how many times do I want to guess correctly? 5 times. And then I'm going to get 1 question wrong. So what's the probability I get a question wrong? Also 0.5 in this case. That's going to happen once. And then you would go to either your triangle or your calculator. So remember, you can go 6, math. Sorry, wait a second. Six math. Math. We good? And then go to probability. Then this NCR and type 5. Or you can go to your triangle. You can use a triangle on your test if you want. Or you just make one. So I get 6. So there's 6 different ways, 6 different orders I can make that happen. And then 0.5 to the 5th is 0.03125. 0.5 to the first is 0.5. Like really, if I'm doing this, I'm not going to write this stuff out very often. You can just go to your calculator and type in, like do the 6 math 5 thing. So 6 NCR 5, and then go times 0.5 to the 5th times 0.5 to the first. So I'm just typing like the whole thing in there. And it gives me 0.5 0.375. But if you want to use your triangle and grab that number from your triangle and multiply by those, you can do that too. So like about 10% of the time I'll get 5 out of 6 correct. I'm just guessing. Questions, I mean we're gonna do a couple more for sure, but questions on what we did there? What I did there? At this moment. Okay? For the second one, so the probability x equals what? What's x going? What do we want x to equal? 3 or 5? 3, because it's the number we're going to get right. That's the number of successes. And then there's 5 questions. We're choosing 3. So like you might get number 1, 2, and 3 right. You might get number 1, 2, and 5 right. You might get number 2, 4, and 5. Like there's all these different combinations that can happen. That's what this finds. It's like the number of paths to Mr. Porter's retirement. And then, if I'm randomly guessing, what's the probability that I get it right? I got A, B, C, D, so it's 1/4 or 0.25, whichever you want to do. And I want that to happen 3 times. And then, what's the probability I get it wrong? 3/4 or 0.75, either way. And that's going to happen how many times? 2. So one little quick check is, this is the total number of questions. This is how many you got right. That's how many you got wrong. So shouldn't the 2 and 3 always have to 5? Like these 2 numbers here have to add up to that one. So go ahead and type it in or use your triangle or whatever. See if you get what you're supposed to. If not, we'll take a look. So I'm just gonna write down what I'm typing. I'm typing 5 NCR 3, which is that. That's 0.25. Third, which is that. That's 0.75. Second, that. And I got 0.088. Those are 8s. How's that one? You get what we're supposed to get? Try a third one. Should we say hi to Logan? Is there any chance Logan will watch this video? No. There's not, is there? What? What if the probability? Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you. That's a math joke. Wish I could say the same. Alright, so probability x equals 2 in this case. So if this were on your test, which it will be, I'm going to say, like, show me write out the formula for this one and give me the answer. And not all of them I'll make you write the formula, but some I will. And then this is what I want to see, like this part here. So this would be 4, choose 2. About a 70% free throw shooter, so they make it 70% of the time. We want them to make 2. This is 30% of the time. We want them to miss 2. And type all that in. You get 0.65 or 0.265. Question on these three on the front here? Bless you. So then the only other thing that can make things a little different is like 4 and 5, we start to say, I want to consider like multiple possibilities. So like if you read through 4, I'm saying at least 4 times out of 5 flips. So at least 4 out of 5 means what are my 2 choices? 4 and 5. So you just gotta do it twice. You gotta like add those 2 things up. So like number 5, just run through that with 2. At most 1 hit. So at most 1 hit means I could either get 1 or 0. So you just do those 2 things and add them up. So if I'm doing number 4, I'm going probability x equals 4. Equals 5, choose 4. That's 0.4. 4. 0.6 first. Plus probability x equals 5 equals 5, choose 5. 0.6 to the 0. I just type that into my calculator, and add those 2 up. This is where the calculator comes in handy. Like the calculator will kind of cheat this for us, so it's faster. When you do it, I just want you to know what you're typing in. You know? You guys know like the instant replay trick on your calculator? So I just type that in, right? Well, if I hit second enter, it'll pop it up for me again. And then I can just like scroll back through. I don't know why I did the 1 2 times ago. I must have done it twice. But then you can just go back through and like replace. It's not working. That's cool when I try to show you something that doesn't work at all. So there, so if I hit second enter, it'll pop up with the previous thing I typed in, and then I can just kind of scroll back and be like, well, now I want this to be a 5, this to be a 5, and this to be a 0. It's not like typing it in is something crazy hard, but it's a little faster. And then add those 2 things up. So I get 0.087 for my answer there. You guys getting the same? Questions on that one? Where'd you get this? Why'd you put this here? Alright, so at this point I would just say finish the worksheet. What? I'll do it in a second to get your answers. questions on what I did to get it. If you got a question, let me know. I would put the fractions in, like, in parentheses as fractions. You put 0.3 or 0.33 even. There's just going to be rounding errors. Nobody squares. It makes it, like, more of an error. We either put 1/3 in parentheses or put, like, a crap load of 0.33333333. There's those two. I'm just walking around. People up with the two on the back. 1 or a 2. So if I'm rolling a fair die, what's the probability I roll a 1 or a 2? It's 2 out of 6, right? So 1 out of 3. Yeah. Well, they're taking 4 at bats. So I guess there are 5 possibilities. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is just like a draw. Okay. So, yeah, it's number of bats. So you were like, okay, there's 5 possible outcomes. Yeah. Gotcha. So it's number of trials. Okay. Let's see what you're. Yeah. For 4, 5, 6? No, because there's just one thing, exactly twice. So I'm not saying like 2 times over 3 times. The combining happened because there's 2 numbers on the die that make sense out of 6. So that's 1/3. But I'm just saying, what's the probability to exceed twice? Not like at least twice or most twice, just like twice. Those 2, okay? Am I good to go to the next sheet, next page? Get those, Connor? And then we know that I didn't assign all the con yet, but I assigned one that is exactly this stuff. So I would like you to do that today. Get it over with. Yeah. There's 4 questions. They each had like 5 different answers. You know what I mean? It does get confusing because you got numbers everywhere, like keeping track of what goes where. Yeah, that's our part. The good news is it only gets worse as the chapter goes. Got that to look forward to. This chapter is fairly short, so your test might be like end of next week even, I don't know. But you guys are at school Friday.
Wait, this Friday?
Next Friday. Next Friday. Because I was thinking like the test could probably be next Friday, but I don't, you don't have school. Next Friday.
I just saw the ABC.
It's really easy to screw these up. You gotta be very careful about just making sure you're putting the right numbers in the right spot. Reading, yes. So I would say at this point, you guys are like, yeah, I understand it, but it's super easy to screw these up. So just be very careful about it. There's 4 questions. There's 5 choices. I get 1 right. I get 3 wrong. Whatever. Like think through what goes where because this just gets harder as we start doing more. Just harder to keep track of. Like the stuff doesn't get harder. It just gets like there's more stuff, so it gets harder to keep track of. I just put 1 for now. There will be more. There will be more. There will be more. There'll be more. Or shorts to school. Oh yeah.
So exactly 8 out of 10.
Well, that is normal.
My binder was so
What? What? You can't have like
Yeah, but see, how do you figure out the exponents? Like, when you get an 8
no, it's like
Because that's your first number's however you
like the success. Second one,
Sorry, sorry.
it's just the first minus.
That's right, right.
She's fine.
When I decided to say,
It was just so funny because nobody else, everyone told me so, and I was like, dude, I literally got the fuck. No one knows. Yeah. Where are you? I don't know. Like, what are you? We should have called off. You see the video, bro? No, he was taking too long. He's asking forever, so I said, no, why don't you just have someone else? Mike, I'm gonna give you this phone, but you have to promise to do it right now. We're not gonna give you this phone. You guys can sort it out.
You guys see your phone?
First try, more and more.
I don't usually do that. It takes me a couple tries. I don't know where that.
Get him, Bobby.
That's so funny.
Well, chip in like $2 on video.
Everyone? I'll do it.
Yes, fine. Everybody chip in $2.
I say everyone in the school